Alright, here we go. Grenade out. Wait, what? Wait. What? Oh, really? Wow. What? Not again. Oh, this collision is terrible. Uh-oh. What am I doing on Containment again? Didn't I say I wasn't going to record this map anymore? Oh boy. Guess I just hadn't had enough. That's okay, I'll start out with a double kill. Oh, can we make it 3? Ooh. Alright. Well, maybe we're going to turn things around for ourselves. Maybe... Oh boy. The ritual fail grenade, as is tradition. You know it wouldn't be a Blacklight video without me failing a bunch of grenades. And trust me, this video is full of grenade fails. Doing Domination on Containment, and as you guys know, not a huge fan of this map. But you know what, that's okay. We're gonna deal with what we got. We're not off to a bad start. Of course we're losing, but that's okay. What do you expect? Most of the times when you make it into a server that has a slot or two open, that's already in the middle of the match, most of the time that's because some people rage quit because they're getting owned. And so a lot of times when I enter a map in progress, I usually expect to be on the losing team, and I usually don't expect to win. But that's okay, it gives me a chance to warm up, right? So it's not all bad. Ooh, look at that, Mr. Revolver. Oh, revolvers. A lot of news. They just dropped a big patch. I'm getting ready to drop another big patch soon. They even did a patch minute video. That's how you know it's a big deal. They haven't done a patch video. Zombie Studios hasn't done a patch video in a month. So what do we got in this new patch? We've got let's see, we've got party mode. Finally implemented party mode. Awesome. How many of you guys are as frustrated as I am when I was trying to get a friend into a match, and I'm joining a match that only has 1 or 2 slots full, and you gotta hurry up and join that match, and the second you join that match, you gotta tell your friend, join now, join now, join now, join on me, and pray that you get in before the match, before the server fills up. That's just step 1. And then step 2 is you pray that you can both get on the same team together. A lot of times you join a server with a friend, you end up having to shoot each other in the face. But I'm glad they finally got that sorted out. I know a lot of people are going to be happy about that. So that's good. We got party play in. I don't know if I mentioned in the last video or not, but stats are in now. Stats are working. You just saw me. I got owned up by Mr. Shotgun. I tried to jump around a corner. I tried to do a little jump maneuver. And Mr. Shotgun said nope. Oh man, so we got a lot of awesome things coming up in the near future for Blacklight. You guys, I'm sure you guys have heard of Siege Mode. Siege Mode, brand new game mode, objective-based game mode, where you've got a siege tank, and you've got a team that's you've got someone that's going to have to pilot the siege tank, and then your team that's going to have to support that pilot in the vehicle, and they're going to have to navigate their way through this path. They're going to have to hack objectives, like roadblocks, things like that, obstructions, so that the tank can pass through. And it's basically the other team's job to make sure that doesn't happen, that tank doesn't get to the end. So I'm assuming that's going to mean either, there's a time limit, or you're going to have to nuke the tank. Things like hard suits and heavy weapons are going to be able to stun the tank or incapacitate it or whatever. So there's still going to be a good use for those things, for like some of the heavier weapons. And I'm assuming the tank is going to have a ton of hit points. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of people that are excited about this game mode, and I gotta be honest, I'm a little concerned. I'm a little concerned about Siege Mode. And the reason why I'm a little concerned is that, first of all, it looks like this tank is going to have to follow a linear path through the map every time, the same path. And what bothers me about this is I'm instantly reminded of a lot of the escort mode in Team Fortress, where you have to hang out kind of near the objective, and it kind of skirts along this path from point A to point B. And I always felt like a game mode like that made for bad gameplay, because you're basically shooting fish in a barrel is basically what it looks like in my eyes. Is you have the poor attacking team, well, in this case the attackers being the people that have to escort, and they all pile up around the objective and they just get wasted. It feels like a lot of that mode where your entire team has to kind of huddle around this one objective, and you're basically just getting shot at by the enemy, who are in fantastic positions. There are plenty of opportunities for them to flank you, and you don't really have a lot of choice in what you can do other than just hang out near the objective. And I really hope that is not what this game mode basically is about. I hope that the team that's defending the tank has offered a little more flexibility in how they can defend the tank, and like where they can go to ensure that the tank can advance. Because yeah, I gotta say, like I said, not a big fan of the Team Fortress style of escort, whatever you want to call it. Personally, if I had my way, I think it would be much cooler to mimic it more after kind of like the VIP mode in Counter-Strike from back in the day, where you were just a dude with a pistol, and you had the same mobility, the same options as all the other players in terms of how you can navigate the map. You just didn't have, the weapons that they had, which is okay. And so you're relying a lot on cunning and just trying to be very clever about getting, around the enemy to succeed. And I think that's a lot more fun. I think that creates a lot more dynamic gameplay than just, having to go down the same predetermined path every time. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I can see that getting, repetitive really fast. So we'll see. Who knows? Hopefully it'll be fun. Hopefully my concerns won't be realized. What else we got going on? They announced another hero skin, another hero character, Deacon, I think his name is. Deacon the Engineer. Deacon the Engineer. So I'm assuming with them claiming that he's an engineer or whatever, it looked like he had like a cool looking like robotic arm. I'm assuming he's probably going to come bundled with like, I don't know, like a turret or some kind of cool mechanical gadgets like that, or so, one could hope. But who knows? So there's that to look forward to. Viper got another skin, so I guess if for you guys that own or are way into the Viper hero, there's another skin for him. That looks awesome. Yeah. It's worth mentioning that there is a hilarious the patch minute video that Zombie did for the last patch that they put out. You guys gotta go watch it. I'll put the link in the description. It is a hilarious video, so you guys gotta check that out. Their videos are so informal. It's fantastic. Oh man. So you're probably noticing that my gun is a little different than what it's been in the past videos. The last video I did a brief rundown of what I was doing with my assault rifle. And what I decided to do, and I kind of wish I would have come to this conclusion earlier, is premades, man. Premades are the way to go. If you're pre-level 20, if you're 19 or below, you don't have access to all like the really good components in the game yet. So what I recommend is you take 200 GP, that's all it costs. You can rent an entire pre-made weapon for 200 GP for a day. And the beauty of it being only a day is that you don't have to, say to yourself, well, I've rented this thing for, I have 3 days until this thing expires, and so, now I kind of feel like I'm obligated, like I have to, at least try to play for the next 3 days, or else I'm going to feel like I've just kind of wasted my, my rented item. But you just hop in for a day. Your rental's paid for after the first round or two. Everything else is a bonus. And like I said, you're getting an entire weapon for 200, whereas if you were to rent just a, a regular component, you A, have to meet the level requirement, and B, you're just getting one component. You're not even getting a full weapon. So this also benefits people that are brand new to the game. If you're new to the game and you're not really feeling the default assault rifle, the default SMG, or whatever it is that you start with, that's okay. Hop in for a round or two, get used to the mechanics, get 200 GP, rent a weapon right away, find something that feels good to you, and you're gonna end up saving a lot of GP just by hanging on and just keep using those pre-made weapons until you hit 20, and you're gonna thank yourself. So I think that's pretty much my game plan. I mean, I'm kind of adapting this strategy a little late in the game. I'm already a decent way into level 18, but I think that is pretty much going to be the battle plan for me. I'm just going to keep saving that GP, keep using those pre-mades, and so by the time I hit 20, I'm going to be able to pick up a few pieces right away, and so that'll be really cool. And if you're curious, the weapon that I'm using is the Regulator AR. It's not perfect. It has problems finding people at range sometimes. Sometimes the muzzle flash seems like it gets in the way sometimes, but it's got great optics. And it's actually, for a decent medium range weapon, it's got pretty good accuracy. So it's not bad. It feels pretty good to me, so that's kind of what I'm sticking with. You can also rent items that have the incendiary ammo if you want. I mean, they give you... I guess that's another one of the beauties of doing pre-mades weapons, is that you're spending 200 GP for an entire weapon that has components that you're not even high enough level to unlock yet if you're not buying them with Zen. So definitely recommend that. So do that. I think you'll be glad that you did, and you won't find that you're always scraping the bottom of the barrel with your GP all the time, which always sucks. Domination on Piledriver. This is a fun map. This is actually the very first map I ever played when I loaded up Blacklight for the first time. It's not bad. It's a pretty fun map. I find that very rarely on this map do I like to just hover around one point. I find that Piledriver does a good job of getting me to kind of run around the entire map and just really try to cover the entire map as I'm playing it. So, and I think it's just the right size too. It's not really a small map, but it's not a huge map either. So there's plenty of action to be had outside. The interior space with the multiple levels has a pretty interesting vertical gameplay kind of dynamic to it. So yeah, it's a pretty good map. The only gripe I have about this map, and you're gonna see it in a moment, and in fact you already saw it in the intro, is just the horrendous collision they have going on right here. Check this out. I saw my grenade come back and I'm like, huh? What? Oh man, that is, I mean, come on, dude. That's just lazy collision if you ask me. They should definitely get that fixed. So we're holding down A and B. One of the things that I also admire about this map is I'm trying to think, okay, what is the, if I'm in a losing situation, what is the one point that I do not want to be stuck with, that I feel like I'm like spawn trapped, so to speak. And I can't really think of one. I mean, I guess if I had to pick, I would say B would be the worst point to be stuck on, because you've got a long road kind of, leading both ways out of that spawn. So if you have a lot of enemy snipers, I mean, maybe that could be a problem. But I don't know. I really don't think it's that bad to get out of B if you have to. So, and I think again that's a sign of a good map. If you load into a map like on a Domination game mode, and you say, okay, all we got to do is get this point and this point, and we'll let them have that point, because that, you know, that's the bad point to have. That's the point where we're gonna trap them. That's where you know that there's an issue with the map, at least that in my book. And I would say that probably only applies to a couple of maps, really. I'm trying to think of. I guess the only one that comes to mind is the map we just played would be Seaport. To get trapped at A is that can be dangerous because you can have a hell of a time trying to get out of A on Seaport if that's where you're trapped at. I don't think it was a very clever idea for them to have the sun direction pointing towards the back route out of A on Seaport. I mean, you already had a disadvantage because the enemy can have that exit covered from a rooftop, and so you have to run down this corridor and you can't really see what's in front of you. But then again, now that I think about it, you can probably get around that by turning your detail settings way down. Now that I think about it, which some people are forced to do because some people don't have PCs that can run this game very well. So, you know, they want to be able to stay competitive. So in order to get that frame rate they want, they'll turn things down. Or sometimes they just want the clear advantage, and so they'll turn things like that off. A lot of the eye candy, they'll just turn it down because it's a distraction. And that actually brings up a really good point. And it seems like that's kind of an interesting balance that developers have to strike when they're trying to make a game. I mean, obviously, you know, they're going to want to make the game, you know, as beautiful as possible. All right, here we go. Here's a stinger fail. Oh, oh man, I didn't realize the collision detection on the on the stinger projectile would be that big. I assumed it would clear the window. But I was really surprised when that killed me. I was like, wait, what? Like, I thought that maybe I don't know. I thought maybe someone railgunned me or, anyway. But getting back to what I was saying, there's an interesting balance that has to be struck between making a game look really nice, but making sure that that really beautiful art style doesn't stumble over itself, you know, that it doesn't begin to interfere with the gameplay. And you always have to assume that there's going to be those group of tryhards that are going to, you know, anything that is not completely necessary to the gameplay, you know, they're gonna turn it off. They're gonna get rid of it because it's not important to them. They don't care about how good the game looks. They just want to do what they can to make sure that they can, you know, play effectively. And so yeah, and that's a beautiful example. Like things like the sun, like the rays from the sun on Seaport, you know, it's a cool idea. Maybe it was, I don't know if it was intentional or not that the developer did that, you know, as something that's supposed to affect gameplay, but I'm sure it can be turned off. And, you know, and so you can't necessarily rely on gimmicks like that can just be disabled. But at the same time, you can't say, okay, no matter what detail setting, we're going to force this thing to always be on, right? Because now you start running into performance concerns for people to have lower end systems. So yeah, compromises. So we've got, what do we got here? We've got A and C, it looks like. And here's the scenario I was talking about earlier, where if I were to pick a point to get trapped at on this map, it would be B. And if your team is aggressive enough and get in there, sometimes you can have a tough time getting out. What tends to happen is a lot of people end up hugging the corner of that building and hiding behind the ship. And if they don't make an effort to get out of there, then it can be bad news. This is this window that I'm looking at right now. That can be a very dangerous spot for C if you're trying to hold C. And you've seen in some of my past videos where I've died to people that are up in that window. There's actually a depot right behind them, and so it's not enough to wound them. if you're trying to maybe throw a grenade up there or anything, you really need to make sure they die, because it's very easy for them to just turn around, reload their grenades, reload their health, and just start throwing stuff right back down on C. And so you definitely want to make sure that window is taken care of if you decide that you're going to guard that point in this map. Boom, and that's it. 750 to 519. Domination on Piledriver, and even took second place. Yay me. Not bad, not bad. 14-4. Pretty fun map, I gotta say. I don't think I've had a terrible map on Piledriver yet. I always tend to have a lot of fun on Piledriver, so solid map. Well, with that, guys, I think I'm gonna call it for this episode, and hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, comment, favorite. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you don't like. Or if you have any just general questions, just let me know, and I'll do what I can to get back to you. So until next time, guys, take it easy.